È molto difficile far parlare i demoni. I demoni cercano di tacere, cercano di rimanere nascosti. Attraverso le risposte del demonio noi dobbiamo poi controllare se le risposte sono esatte.
So the devil for you is very real?
Ah sì, è un puro spirito. Un angelo era un angelo che si è ribellato a Dio ed è diventato demone, ma conserva tutta l'intelligenza e tutta la potenza di un angelo, che è una intelligenza e una potenza molto più forte di quella dell'uomo.
Do you believe that you've ever actually met the devil face to face during one of your exorcisms?
Indirettamente sì, perché parlo con lui, gli faccio domande e lui risponde.
What happens in an exorcism?
S'accomodi, come si fa a fare il resortino.
Okay.
S'accomodi. Prima mi metto la stola, l'indumento sacerdotale che si usa per fare l'esorcismo. Un lembo della stola lo metto sulla persona da esorcizzare. Sì. Prima lo benedico con acqua benedetta. Sì. Adesso non le voglio far fare la doccia. Il crocifisso. Sì. Poi incomincio a pregare. Tutto qui.
That's it?
Tutto qui, semplicissimo.
Okay.
Si dicono le preghiere apposite riservate agli esorcisti.
Well, I feel better. If I ever do need an exorcist in real life, I want someone like Father Amort. He seemed quite heavy-lidded and slow-talking and very exact, but in fact his eyes were extraordinary. He never blinked, and I found that really difficult to hold his gaze. He's an interesting guy because for him exorcism isn't something out of the movies. It's an everyday act. It's an everyday act because he does it every day, between 5 and 12 times every day of the year, because he knows that the devil never sleeps.
In the Middle Ages, the devil was the face of evil. But in the past couple of hundred years, as science has become the dominant belief system, that face has had to change. And it was here, in my home city of Edinburgh, that evil took on a new and chilling identity.
Edinburgh has an extraordinary double nature. On the one hand, you've got the medieval city, a warren of alleys and tenements where Burke and Hare murdered their victims so they could sell the bodies for dissection. On the other hand, there's the Georgian New Town, a place of order and planning, a place of reason, home of David Hume, Adam Smith and the great medical scientists of the Scottish Enlightenment. It was also the home of Robert Louis Stevenson.
Edinburgh's dual nature inspired Stevenson to write his seminal work, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's a book that's had a huge effect on everything I've written.
Stevenson's book is much more than just a tale of Gothic imagining. He's saying that evil isn't something out there. It's inside all of us, and it only takes the right circumstances to bring it out. It's the birth of a new way of trying to understand evil in the scientific age.
Basically a good man, you see. Only the evil in him could be isolated. But do you not see the tremendous release that could be achieved if the good and the evil could be separated?
How do you propose to achieve that, eh? Surely we can all recognize the difference between good and evil, eh?
Stevenson's thinking was the scientific development of Scotland. We must remember that the Scottish Enlightenment of the 18th century went on in medicine and was still there alive and well during the 19th century, and especially in the 1840s when Professor James Young Simpson, the professor of midwifery at Edinburgh University, developed the use of chloroform in order to ease the pangs of childbirth.
Professor Simpson was experimenting with various substances, trying to find an effective anaesthetic. When he tried inhaling the vapours of chloroform, whose properties were unknown at the time, he fell down apparently dead on the living room floor. When he came round again, he realised he'd quite enjoyed the experience.
So they become quite used in the Simpson family to the business of somebody losing consciousness, so you separate body and mind.
Suddenly you've got licence because you're not yourself anymore.
Yes. And in fact, the Simpsons were very good, the young Simpsons, James Young Simpson's son and daughter, were very good friends of Robert Louis Stevenson. He went sailing around Scotland with young Simpson. So he uses that to develop the medical and scientific quality of Jekyll, who, like James Young Simpson, experiments on himself when he discovers the scientific properties of releasing good from evil or evil from good. Of course, the idea was that he should develop somebody who was truly good, but because of having the wrong thoughts in his mind at the point when he makes the experiment, it is a creature of pure evil that Dr. Jekyll produces.
Now my conviction that man is not truly one, but truly two, is to be put to the test yet again.
And therefore, for the first time, really, except in morality plays where vices are portrayed and so forth, you have the creature of pure evil emerging into modern consciousness, modern literature, and through film, the whole modern culture.
It seems to me that from Satan in Paradise Lost, the villain has always been quite seductive. It happens a lot in Shakespeare. We don't get that in Hyde. Hyde isn't a seductive character. He doesn't make me want to be like him.
No, because, and I think there's a very clear point that Stevenson wanted to get across there. Hyde does not seduce, he rapes. There is even the implication that the trampling of the little girl, the trample was a word which had a rape connection about it.
And what do you do? What's your speciality?
Pardon, sir?
Well, what's your speciality? What do you do?
Now, obviously, in putting out that story, he couldn't have Hyde raping a little girl, but we are to feel the violence of what he does in a rape sense.
Truly, sir?
You're a common harlot, aren't you?
No, sir.
There never is any chance but that he will be anything but pure evil once the experiment has actually happened.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde explores the notion that science can isolate pure evil. But at the same time as Stevenson was writing his fictional work, real scientists were trying to do the same sort of thing.